everyone, and welcome to our show, Let's Talk Sarcoidosis. I am your host, Dorothea Howard. Alongside of me is our co-host, Mr. Larry Franklin. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Dorothea. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. We have a great segment today. It's called Magnificent Living, and we have Mr. Carl Powell as our guest today. Welcome, Carl.
Well, thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here today.
And we're excited to have you. So let's get started. Carl, tell us, what is Tai Chi?
Okay. Tai Chi is a healing art. It's also a martial art. So Tai Chi initially was developed as a fighting art. Through time, people found that those movements were also healing, and they fit into the category of Qigong. Qigong is the art of healing. So Tai Chi is Qigong, but not all Qigong is Tai Chi. Acupuncture is Qigong, meditation is Qigong. So there are a lot of healing arts that fit into the blanket of Qigong, but Tai Chi is just one of them, but it just happens to be my favorite.
Okay, it sounds like that's a good plan. So what age can a child begin to take Tai Chi?
I say when people ask me if they can bring their kids, I always say, can they pay attention? Because some kids at 3 can pay attention, and some kids at 30 can't pay attention. So it all depends on the kid. It really does.
Okay, Larry, do you have any questions for Carl?
Well, since we were talking about age, what about people over 50?
Okay. And this is one of my very favorite stories. 2 years ago, I decided that I wanted to really delve in and really learn Tai Chi. And so I contacted a master, and I had him come, and he flew from California, and he came in for the weekend, and I paid him to come in for the weekend, and I'm studying intensely, and I'm outside, and I'm doing the Tai Chi with him, and my mother is peeking out of the window, and she's 77.
Wow.
She's peeking out the window. So I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I like what this looks like. And so he, being a generous soul, says, oh, come on out and do it with us. Well, my mother is discombobulated, let's just say that. Okay. So it takes her a little longer to learn.
I'm not going to laugh because that can happen to me.
It took her a little longer to learn things. I always think when she learned Pilates, it took her longer. When she learned yoga, it took her longer. She went out and she did the Tai Chi, and she killed it. She loved it so much, and it felt so right to her. And I think because the movements are very deliberate and they're very slow, that it made her feel very, very comfortable. So I think just as it made me feel comfortable when I very first started doing it, that I could learn something slowly, that I wasn't in a hurry. Like it's not like a Zumba class where you think, what just happened, what just happened?
Okay.
You actually get to relax and breathe and learn at the same time. So it's a beautiful art form for all people to learn. So I think it's for all ages, as long as you're willing to give attention.
Okay.
That sounds great. What about the benefits? Now, we both have sarcoidosis, and the show is about sarcoidosis. What about the benefits of the exercise as far as stress?
Well, let me start off with saying, when I got the email and you asked me to do this show, and you said, oh, it's about sarcoidosis, I thought, okay, what's that?
Most people, that's why we do this show.
I thought I'd heard of everything. You know what I mean? Like, people have come to me with all kinds of different things, and then I always go back and I do research. But no one had ever come to me with that.
Wow.
And so when you sent me the email, I went back and I researched, and I thought, well, I learned that it mostly affects people in their lungs. So most people who have it, most people are affected in their lungs. So what is beautiful about Tai Chi, yoga, and Pilates is they're all based on the rhythm of your breath. And so I think that any exercise where you can learn to breathe and breathe well is going to help your condition. Can I just ramble?
Go ahead. That's why you're here. We want to be helped, and we want you to help other people.
The majority of people only use about 30% of their lung capacity, and that's because they do this. So your lungs are located right underneath your rib cage. So if you let your rib cage collapse, it pushes your lungs down. So now you don't even have the room to grow. So I tell people the very first thing that people need to learn is posture. Because if you're sitting up tall and you're stacking your vertebrae one on top of the next, your rib cage lifts up and it separates.
So we want to get this posture down, so like this.
So if I were to give you an instruction, I would say feet flat on the floor and then find your sit bones. And then think about stacking each vertebrae of your spinal column one on top of the next, so that it's long and lifted. and then relax your shoulders, because people tend to
Okay.
do that immediately.
So is this
Yeah,
the
yeah.
posture?
But see, what you're doing now is you're
So I'm leaning, so
yeah.
I need to be
Yes,
like
and then
this.
lift up your rib cage. See,
Like
now
this.
there. And what
Okay.
happens automatically is your abdominals pull
Yes,
in.
I did feel
Right,
that.
exactly, right? And
I did feel that, yes.
And that's because your transverse abdominis, which is your
Okay.
biggest abdominal muscle,
Right.
is also your biggest breathing muscle. So if you want to breathe well, you need to have a stronger core. So that's the first thing I would start with you is I would just start with you with a breathing exercise, and you're going to do this with me. I was holding this as a surprise. Okay, so, all right, so we're going to sit up nice and tall, feet flat. Okay, so while you're going to focus on your breath moving from below your belly button into your belly and expanding at your rib cage.
Okay.
And then when you exhale, you're going to feel the rib cage decrease in size, and you want
Okay.
your breath to move downward.
All
So
righty.
you just place your hands on your knees or your thighs, wherever you're comfortable.
Okay, I'll just put that here.
Wherever
All
you're
right,
comfortable.
Like this.
And then you want to sit up nice and tall, and then close your eyes. Now you're just going to take a nice big inhale in. And then as you exhale, you can just open your mouth and Now when you inhale, think about lifting up your heart. So lift up your heart.
Okay.
And then exhale. And now think about the breath moving upward from below the belly button, up into your abdominals, expanding as your rib cage. Let your rib cage expand, 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 expand. And then one more time, it's going to work. Nice big inhale. Expand, 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 expand as big as you can. And then we want to blow all of the air out. Like, I know I'm probably making noise. And then go ahead. Now, what do you feel like?
Feels refreshing.
You feel lighter.
Yes.
Feel lighter.
Yes,
Much
you do.
much lighter.
Yeah.
And that's because this is heavy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
people,
No, that's really good.
people drive like that.
Right.
They
Yeah.
eat like that. So you spend so much time in that position. So it's either this position
Okay.
or this position.
Right.
But this is the position where you can get the most oxygen.
And that's probably one of the reasons, like I used to coach track and field, and when a runner crosses the finish line, their natural habit is to bend down and grab their knees, and we would walk over and stand them up straight and put their hands up over the head so they can breathe in more oxygen and relax.
Right.
That's interesting. So why should dancers and athletes do Tai Chi?
I think everyone should do Tai Chi because we live in a stressful world.
Oh, yes.
Our central nervous systems are always on alarm.
Okay.
So we have lights and colors and people moving and things moving and noises. So we're always on alarm.
Right.
And at some point, our goal should be to be at peace. And so I always find that in life, the more that I'm at peace, the more that I can share peace. So I tell people, if nothing else, learn how to be at peace so that you can share peace. If I'm always stressed out, and we all know people who are like that,
Oh, my
when you're around that
goodness,
person, you can't help but be stressed
Yes.
out. People, when they're around me, they say, I just
Right.
want to fall asleep. Because I live in that peace. And that's the
Right.
beautiful thing about my work. I started teaching exercise in 1979. I was 3.
Okay. Are you serious?
No, I wasn't 3. I just don't want to give up my age that easy. So I started in 1979, and I was doing aerobics. And
Okay.
that's what was cool then. That's what everybody was doing. As I got more involved in exercise, I saw there were more people on the other side of the equation. And that's what
That's
most people in the
interesting.
fitness business don't get. There are more people who don't exercise
Right.
than do exercise. So my goal was to reach the people who didn't already exercise.
Right.
So if I was going to learn something to contact people who don't already exercise, I had to find something that was low impact, that was healing, that was slow, and that was based in medicine.
Okay.
And so there was nothing in aerobics that was based in medicine. There was nothing in weight training really, except bone density, that was really based in medicine. When I start looking at yoga and Pilates and Tai Chi, those arts have been around for a very long time,
Right.
and they're actually based on medicine. Tai Chi comes from Chinese medicine. So I thought, well, if I was going to find any medicine for people, rather
Right.
than have them go to the doctor, because most people live on medicine already,
Oh, yes.
yeah. Let's find a medicine that will
something.
help people heal. Reach those people who weren't already in the gym. And then I figured my bank would be a little bit fuller also. Because why do something with people
Right.
who already are doing that?
Right.
But I find that with the healing arts, I can teach that to anyone. I can teach it, just like I said, to kids. I go into a daycare center where the kids, we do this whole thing where we have a clear head. And I put it down on the table, and I say, okay, the first thing we're going to do is, I know you had a lot of stress with your parents getting you here. You know, get dressed, take a shower, whatever you need to do. So we put the clear head on the table, and we close our eyes, and we just say, we're going to clear our head.
Oh, that's a good concept.
And while they're clearing their head, I have them breathe. And the teacher always says the days when you come in are always so much better days for her, because the kids just are so much less stressful for her to manage.
So they're more relaxed,
More relaxed.
and more at peace.
And so I say that I wanted to teach that because I think if we all were teaching things to help the whole world be more relaxed, we'd all be more relaxed people. So I think that that's part of my gift, is being able to help people by sharing the gift of, this I know works. This I know will help you feel better. This I know won't break your body down, but it'll help build your body up. And so, different than some forms of exercises that can be a little hard on your knees or your hips or whatever, because I've had a hip replacement myself from 30 years of dancing. But who thought, 30 years of teaching, 30 dance classes a week would knock my right hip off? But it did. And it was just repetitive motion. We're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I tell people, that's what we do in life. We just bang our head against the wall in the same place over and over and over again. And I think
that is true.
Yeah, right. We do. We all do. I said,
true.
when we learn to stop doing that, then we can start being healthier. So when we can stop saying, well, I'm sick, so there's nothing I can do about it. That's just the same bang your head against the wall, because you're not helping yourself. You have to help yourself, period. We were given two hands to do something. And there are simple things that you can do. Just those simple breathing techniques. And there are a lot of breathing techniques. I can't teach them all at one time, but they're on my website.
And they'll see that at the end.
And you'll see that. But and I do them for free, because I just want to share that. That's something that's like a ooh for me. And when I find something that's ooh, I want to share that. And I think that if I can just share that one thing, that it will entice people to learn more about how can they make themselves well. Because we're either working towards illness or wellness. Which one do you choose?
I choose wellness.
So Carl, how long, if I wanted to learn Tai Chi, how difficult and how long would it be for me to be able to pick that up?
Not very difficult. I've been doing it for about 15 years on and off. For the last 2 years on. And I saw my Tai Chi master, I was just in Hawaii 2 weeks ago, and we were outside doing Tai Chi, and he walked over to me and tapped me on the shoulder and said, your Tai Chi has improved 100%.
Wow.
And so I think there's always room for improvement, but there's always room for the beginner also. Because there are very simple movements, like movements we'll do later on today, will be very simple. And you can take those movements, if you just start doing 5 minutes a day, finding 3 or 4 movements that really work for you, you're going to start to feel the Tai Chi. But then I said, there's always just keep learning, because it's like life. As long as we keep learning, we're still alive. And but Tai Chi, there's so much to learn. That's what I love about Tai Chi and yoga, is those arts have been around for centuries. So there's always something else to learn in those. So,
speaking of that, when a person starts this, Tai Chi, when will they actually feel the benefit? When you start, how long does it actually take to start feeling the difference that you're taking Tai Chi? It's like, is it a week or 2 weeks, or does it depend on the individual?
It depends on the individual, and when people come to me and they say, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible, I tell them, you know what, then you're not flexible, because flexibility begins in the mind. So the second you say out of your mouth, I can't, I won't, this doesn't work, then it doesn't, because you've already said it, you've already made that declaration. You will feel better according to the amount of surrender that you allow. If you walk into your very first Tai Chi class and you just say, I'm going to surrender myself to it and just enjoy the moment, like what we're supposed to be doing in life anyway. Then you're going to enjoy that moment. If you go in with a lot of reservation, then all those reservations are going to stop you from enjoying. And I tell people that's the same formula for life. My book, 21 Steps to Magnificent Living, is really just about letting up on things in your life. Learning how to be loving, learning how to be forgiving, learning how to trust the process. Because so many people don't trust the process. And when you don't trust the process, you hold on. So I noticed, just like in life, if people walk into the Tai Chi class and they're not ready to trust the process, they're a whole lot harder to teach.
Wow.
When somebody walks in the room and they say, I'm already here, I'm willing to open up and accept and learn this, then it's a breeze. So
Okay.
I always say, before you do any of the healing arts, change your mind. Just
So
go
it's
in
all
with the
there.
attitude. Yeah, go in with the attitude that maybe I don't know how to do this at this moment, but the only thing that I can do is get better.
So what is the comparison between yoga, since you mentioned that, yoga and Tai Chi? I mean, what are the comparisons? Are they pretty much the same, or is one a little more, extensive than the other?
I think with Tai Chi, with yoga, and with Pilates, the focus is different.
Okay.
If I went into a Pilates class, my focus would be core strengthening. So it's more of a strengthening exercise.
And that's Pilates.
That's Pilates. But Joseph Pilates, who created Pilates, was a yogi. So he learned yoga first, then he took those yoga exercises and used them to create strength exercises. So that's the origin of Pilates.
Okay.
Yoga has been around for 1,000,000 years, and yoga is for breath work, so for breath, meditation, and then flexibility. So those are the focuses of yoga. So when you go into a yoga class, those are the things that you hope to achieve.
Okay.
Tai Chi is a moving meditation. So the goal is just to release, allow, and to breathe. So I love it the most because I just love being in that state of moving meditation. I think if life was like that all the time,
Right.
like when I was driving here, I was thinking this was so relaxing. I love Laurel Bowie Road because there's no turns. There's
Right.
nothing.
It's just straight.
It's just straight. But there are trees and there are no distractions.
Yes.
And I thought if life just felt like that all the time, but usually the life feels like the Beltway.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So there's congestion and lots of, you
Too
got to
many
look here, too many
turns.
turns. So Tai Chi teaches you to stop making all of those turns and all that, get out of all that congestion and go on Laurel Bowie Road and just float.
Right.
And when you feel like that to start your day, I start every single day with my Tai Chi because I do a Tai Chi class online.
Oh, okay.
And if people are interested, I can get you that information. So,
Right.
yeah.
So I have a question about males and Tai Chi and yoga. I've taken a couple classes, and I was the only male participant in that class. And what can you tell the audience about male participation? Because when I went into that, I went into the yoga class with my wife. She had been asking me to go for a while, and I resisted, and I finally went. And when I came out with a whole different respect and perspective, not just about yoga, but how my whole person felt. So, what can you tell me about that?
Well, I think that flexibility generally has been a thing that has been a woman's thing, but it's not the truth because we all need to be flexible. And we all need to breathe, and so we all do need to do yoga. When men ask me about yoga, I tell them the simplest way to get a man into a yoga class is use this explanation. Do you know what ED is? You know what it is?
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh,
Okay, but no, okay. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
lights came on.
The light just came on.
It's caused by poor circulation.
Got it.
So you have a choice of either taking medication
Right.
or getting up and doing a yoga class and increasing your circulation so that your game is going to be tighter. Which one do you choose? Do you want to
Okay.
do you want to have to take a pill and wait 3 hours,
Right,
or be
right.
ready at any moment?
So now you're going to have a whole bunch of men viewers out there.
It's
I know
true,
they're going to be contacting you.
I promise you, 2 classes, you'll feel like a new person.
They
you
will start contacting you now. You hear that, fellas?
But I think we just have to get away from debunk all of those myths,
Yes.
Right.
because those are the things that stop us from growing.
Right.
If you look at any myth is designed, I say that, by a terrorist. They want to keep you in fear. And I tell people, fear is only a 4-letter word. I've lived past many 4-letter words in my life, so I can live past the fear. So get past your fear
Right.
and do something for yourself, because it's not
Wow.
about what other people think. And when people drop, that's also in my book, when you drop what other people think, you
Right.
become better.
Right.
Because it's about you. And when mothers tell me, "Oh, I have all these things to do and I can't make it to class," I say, "Well, then you can't help anyone."
Right.
Because if you can't help yourself, you don't have hands to help anyone. And if you're not here to help people anymore, if your life ends because you're not taking care of yourself while you're taking care of everybody else, then you can't help anyone. So our goal in life should be to take care of ourselves first and stop looking at self-centered as a bad thing, because that only means you're centered on yourself.
That's right.
But when I center on myself, then I can take care of you, and I can take care of you, and I can spread that self-centeredness. So you can be self-centered. I am.
Well, you know, and speaking of that, you're so right, because we did talk about that in our last segment. But I want you to talk about that new book, that new cookbook that you have coming out.
Okay.
You know, because not only the exercise, but the diet is very important for all of us.
Yeah.
So just tell us a little bit about that new cookbook.
Yeah. And the cookbook is about, most people are in diet prison. They think the diet either has to be a prison or you just eat whatever you want to eat.
Right.
But life has to be a balance of things. So in the book, I said to all of my friends, tell me your favorite quote, your favorite food, and then I'm going to write my favorite story about how I know you. And so the book is about friendship first, food, and then philosophy.
Great.
I take that recipe.
That's good. I mean, that's a good recipe. Stay tuned, everyone. We're going to come back with Tai Chi demonstrations.
All right. And now it's Tai Chi time. So Dorothy and Larry, I hope you're ready.
We're ready.
Just relax, enjoy it. You don't have any questions.
Okay.
So the first dance we're going to do is just with your feet together. And I'll keep coming around so you can see. So the first movement is called sinking the chi. So the hands float up to the sides. You hug your energy into your heart, and then you bring the energy down to earth. So what we're going to do is just the hands float up. You're going to inhale. Bring the energy into your heart, and then go ahead and just float down. Good. So it's into your heart, and then energy flows down. Let's do that one more time, sinking the chi. Inhale. Hug the energy into your heart, and then just let the energy float down. Now we're just going to take it a little step apart, so your feet are going to be a little bit wider. So whenever we open the door to our practice, the movement is called open the door.
Okay.
You're going to bring your hands up to your shoulders. You inhale. As you exhale, you flex your palms, and then just float down and bend your knees. As your hands float all the way down. So your hands are going to float up when you inhale, and then just flex your palms and float down. I love that one because it just feels like you're sliding down the wall. And then just feel your upper back slide down the wall. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale down. 1 more time. Inhale up. Exhale, your hands are just going to float down. We're going to float up, and the hands are going to come to heart center. We're going to inhale and just hug a tree. And then you're going to bring your right hand on top, and we call this embrace the moon. I'm going to turn around so that we do it. So we do it at the same time.
Okay.
So right hand on top of the moon. You're going to inhale, come back to hug, and then embrace the moon. So we're just spinning the moon around. So inhale and exhale. Breathe. Inhale, exhale, and then you inhale. And because the moon's heavy, as you exhale, you're just going to sink down a little bit. Inhale as you come up. Exhale as you come down. Let's do 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. And then just 1 more. So now we're going to take our left hand first. And we're going to imagine that there's something written on your hand.
Okay.
And you're just going to take your hand and you're going to take it across. And then let the hand come down and loop. And then do that again. This is one of my favorite ones. It's called wave hands like clouds. So the top hand is going to be your cloud. So we're going to start to alternate. The bottom hand is the wind moving your waistline. So you let the bottom hand come around. And then you go to the other side. Yeah. I feel good?
Yeah.
And what's nice about this is it's just about allowing your body to sway and sway. So the basic art of Tai Chi is just learning how to flow. So it doesn't matter how fast you're moving or how slowly you're moving, and mostly breathing. So inhale and And my Tai Chi master says, I don't care what you're doing as long as you're flowing. So as long as you feel good. Okay. So for a beginner, those would be the 3 movements that I would start with.
Okay.
Sinking the chi, opening the door to the practice, and just learning how to wave hands like clouds.
Okay.
As you go on, you start to learn more intricate movements, so the movements will actually get to be a little bit more complicated. But I always tell people, find a good instructor, find a really good instructor who will go slowly with you. I'm going to invite you both to come down because you're going to come down and I'm going to film you at my studio and we're going to do a real class and then I'm going to give it to you and you can bring it back to your show and show people when you actually really learned your Tai Chi. I'd love to do that for you. I really would.
Thank you.
All right.
I'd like to thank Mr. Carl Powell, owner of Magnificent Body. Please check out the credits and get the information and call him. We all want to relax. Thank you so much.
You're as powerful as you think you are, right? I tell people that all the time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember,
we both have sarcoidosis, but sarcoidosis doesn't have us. Until next time, be blessed.